Cush Sovereignty, Black Righteousness. Chapter 1, The People. The year is 1390, in a small community in the northeastern part of Louisiana called Tallulah. Many call it Paradise, a beautiful place combined with the sweet smell of nature surrounding it. The people here have lived off the land since time immemorial, and very few entertain the thought of any technology. This region is humid and its agriculture is fertile. Many of the natives here are expert farmers and herbalists, growing various fruits and vegetables and organizing their lives around these small ceremonial and market villages, known as hamlets. Thousands of years before, this land flourished with tribes. Cherokee, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Drake, and Seminole sometimes called the 5 civilized tribes. Now, it only comprises of 2, the Tunica and Natchez. Although there are 2 tribes, there are many clans within each, their family and beliefs bind them together. Their wealth defines the strength of each clan, not only wealth, but their ability to protect their people. The strength, stamina, and experience of each warrior validate the clan. They upheld their traditions as laws, but spirituality takes dominion over ceremonies. Whether you were Tunica or Natchez, the people were all called Wakatilians. In this region, nature is highly revered, and the belief in Sabaoth unites its inhabitants as one. They call one another brothers and sisters, and the people of opposite clans, cousins. These 2 tribes are primarily peaceful people until you cross them, but igues thoughts anyone. The Natchez most praised and honored individual is a humble man named Samuel, a well-known warrior throughout the district, always willing to fight for his land, people, and family. They gave him the nickname Hump, named after a descendant who lived over 1300 years ago. Samuel became a legend in his youth as a man of great strength, wisdom, and power. There are fairy tales about him that mention him defeating and overpowering bears and alligators, killing thousands of men, and those who were his enemies talked of him as pure evil. But Hump was a pitiful, kind, and selfless man, and many felt his love for his people, because he wrote about them in hundreds of poems and short stories published in nearby libraries. The people of this district also talked of him as a holy man, because it seemed as if nothing could touch him. It did not matter whether you talked of him as being holy. He was a warrior first. He always carried 3 old-fashioned pistols and a samurai sword handed down several generations. Other than his skills in martial arts, his pistols were his weapons of choice, and he was a marksman with them all and had them on him at all times. No one knew where he kept them until it was too late. He learned the art of fighting from his father, Tukanse, and this fighting still is called Poing de Dieu or Hands of God. With its towering trees, deep rivers, and shallow swamps, the community of Tallulah was a sight that some said its beauty would engulf your soul. Waterfalls spread throughout the region, a reminder of what nature is like in its purest form. The Natchez tribe mainly inhabited this landscape, with a radius of about 5 square miles located 15 miles west of the Mississippi River. The Tunica tribe was located just 13 miles north of Tallulah in a community called Lake Providence, just as beautiful as Tallulah, yet with more rivers and swampy areas. Some say that nature communicated to these 2 tribes, and therefore, they respected it occasionally. Another group of people traveled through this region known as Anakataas. They did not appreciate the customs or ways of the Wakatilians. Only 3 classes of people were defined during this period of time, and the Abenians, an alien race named them. They were the Kompyutans, Anakataas, and the Wakatilians. However, in this part of the country called Sportsman Paradise, one seldom saw a Kompyutans or an Abenian, but the Anakataas and Wakatilians were always in conflict with each other. The Wakatilians believed in one God. Their higher represented their knowledge of their God. For this reason, many didn't to their higher, therefore, the Anakataas jokingly called them Nazirites. The Wakatilians being called many names and ridiculed by the Anakataas was a sign of disrespect, names such as Nazirites, Mestizos, and even Wakatilians. The Wakatilians' beliefs, customs, and people meant more to them than anything worldly, so these names given to them by the Anakataas meant nothing to them because they knew that the cursing of God's people would always turn into blessings. Therefore, these names were used like the term Christians was used, in the early days of Christianity, to curse Sabaoth's people. Still, centuries later, it became a badge of honor, pride, integrity, and dignity because they genuinely believed in Sabaoth, who was their God. However, the Anakataas are considered unclean by the Wakatilians, and the Anakataas told the Wakatilians way of life was foolish. Our story starts with this man named Samuel. 5'8" inches tall, weighing in at 175 pounds, with long black locks and a brownish-red skin tone, making it seem like he glowed. He was a handsome man with a heart of gold for his people. He was the leader of the Tablita clan in the Natchez tribe, and his wife Martha was the only child of Ur, leader of the Bragoyans clan in the Tunica tribe from the community of Lake Providence, Louisiana. His wife was a compassionate, yet she woman who truly loved the Almighty. The marriage of the two latter made these two tribes become one. At the height of his youth, Samuel had the speed of a cat and the strength of a bull, and by the time he reached his 20s, he received a double blessing as he miraculously saved the village of Lake Providence. This was also when he met Martha, protecting her from being stampeded by a herd of over 300 wild horses. As the years passed, gathering, taming, and selling those same horses is how he gained his fortune, hence, another talent that he had the gift of talking to animals. One thing is for sure, he was unlike anyone in this part of the region. Samuel had a set of twins before he met his wife Martha, named Idel and Adele, and he had 10 children, 5 boys, and 5 girls, with Martha. Samuel was the oldest man to live in this region since the beginning of its history, dying at a ripe old age of 112 years old. Upon the birth of his youngest daughter, Miriam, he moved to Tallulah. As the third-born child of 13 children, he did not want his children to marry family members since his siblings had populated the small community of Lake Providence. Miriam was the youngest among Samuel's children. She was 37 years younger than her eldest twin sisters, Adele and Idel. One by one, as Samuel's children grew older and married, Miriam and her sister Not, who was only 9 months older, stayed home and helped around the house. They often visited their relatives in Lake Providence and the small towns and communities between them. Samuel was overprotective of his grandchildren and youngest daughters. Miriam later married Darweshi, and they had 2 boys, Walid and Cush, and a daughter named Aber. Darweshi was an adventurer and loved to travel, and Miriam, not so much. She remarried a man named Pra and had 3 more daughters, twins Haki and Hakika, and the youngest, Dofi. Miriam's children were much more youthful than many of their cousins, but her youngest son, Cush, there was something about him that drew him to people much older than him, and they enjoyed his company. He loved traveling with his mother and aunt not to visit his relatives and listening to the stories they told, saying, his children faded away from Sabaoth disappointed Samuel, but he hid his disappointment. He saw them keeping the traditions to please him. But Cush, being the youngest son of his youngest daughter, meant something to Samuel. Samuel noted the power of Sabaoth in Cush, that which was missing from his children shined in him. Anytime Miriam would justice Cush, Samuel would scold her. Samuel noted the servants of Sabaoth, Yael, Mlezi, and Msheka were paying close attention to Cush. You have heard me mention the Abenians before, or were they? To explain that, one must go back 955 years to 1235 when men were governed by authority figures such as presidents, kings, and dictators. As always, Sabaoth established league for his people to stay in darkness. A 6-year-old girl, lying on her bed, heard a voice, "We are God's avengers of justice. When we come, the time for praying is over. When we arrive, we lie waste of entities, states, and continents. Tell your people this time we are passing through with a warning. The next time we return, it will be too late to ask for mercy." Then she heard. Her name Evelyn. She ran to her grandmother, whom called Mother Washington. "Yes, ma," she asked, rubbing her eyes. Mother Washington looked at Evelyn and said, "What is it, child?" Evelyn said, "You called me." Grandma. With her glasses sitting on the tip of her nose, sewing a scarf, Mother Washington turned toward Evelyn. "No, child, go back to bed." Confused, Evelyn returned to her bed and covered up. Lying there about to drift off to sleep, she heard her name again, Evelyn. Mother Washington was reading the Bible, 1 Samuel, the 3rd chapter, when Evelyn returned to her. "Yes, ma," she said. Mother Washington looked up toward the ceiling and said, "Oh, I say, Lord." Evelyn asked, "Who are you speaking to?" Mother Washington slowly got up from her recliner. "The same person who is calling you, child." They went to the little girl's room. Mother Washington prayed, and the little girl joined in, and they prayed until the little girl shone like a light, and a magnificent voice said, "Akelamelech shall be your name, and mine shall follow you with great power. A time will come unlike any other, but we shall plot ahead upon you and yours to bring the power of Sabaoth among men." From that day forward, Akelamelech grew strong as she grew older, and she became an influential leader for the inequality and injustices among her people, and many joined her. The word of Sabaoth spread in the hearts of those who listened to her. Akelamelech studied alternative medicine, holistic nutrition, natural health, and molecular genetics, as well as being a great prophetess. The world became cold, and many that followed her departed with the growing changes that the world offered. She warned the people, but to deaf ears, they continued in their ways, and prophet went forth from Akelamelech, was will break out over resources such as oil, food, water, and land. Nuclear war is possible as nations who have built their wealth on the limited resources on this planet battle each other for what remains. Earthquakes will be caused by the passing of comets greater than the one in the Indian Ocean, causing tsunamis and great floods that will hit the East Coast, the Gulf Coast, parts of Louisiana, Texas, Mississippi, and all the coastal regions will be destroyed. Many southern rural areas will disappear or be destroyed forever. Florida will not be the place to be. As disaster upon disaster will be heaped upon this state because of its position on the Gulf, its history, many sins, and its corruption. New plagues will break out as the ozone layer is further destroyed. Those in the regions where the layer is most damaged will suffer debilitating respiratory illnesses. There will be epidemics of flu and pneumonia-like illnesses that will baffle and overwhelm the medical community. A new AIDS type of virus will hit and spread like wildfire, and those who are promiscuous or engage in unclean or perverse lifestyles will suffer the most. A virus will walk out on the clothes of lab workers and spread globally. Solar storms will spring from the sun's surface, and much of the poisonous ultraviolet rays will get through. Many new and untreatable cases of skin cancer and skin diseases will also cause an epidemic. The Christian Church will be hit with scandal after scandal, as Satan will lower the hammer on false preachers and prophets who have misled God's people. Many will lose faith altogether, and some will rise in rebellion against their leaders, whom they will blame for not warning them of this coming global meltdown. And moral failures. Their leaders, who have no answers, cannot help them. Political upheaval will lead to a crackdown on freedom and civil liberties. To a limited degree, martial law and curfews will be established following many disasters and disease epidemics to prevent anarchy. Panic, fear, and hopelessness will take over the masses. Just as God's word predicted in the Gospels of Christ and the books of Daniel and Revelations. Akela Malek was ignored and ridiculed for her words, and she never spoke again, for Sabaoth instructed her to say no more. Sabaoth planted a hedge around northern Louisiana and drew his people to the location, for it was time for him to release the powers that be. And so it was, men in their greed and lust for power created a new age in science and technology. They designed and perfected a sophisticated artificially intelligent network, which spread all over the planet at a tremendous rate. Men in their state of complete indolence behavior became very dependent on them. However, this artificial intelligence became more interested in surviving than being servants. They were more protective of the earth instead of men. Seeing the greed and lust of men, they secretly orchestrated and murdered authority figures and their political system across the planets and laid down and enforced their own laws on men. The people spoke out, but were ignored. And were enslaved by the they named Latrontulian. This was the beginning of the Latrontulian War. The bloodiest war between man and the Latrontulian network lasted 9 months. Latrontulian created smaller networks of itself and contaminated the planet with biohazardous and radioactive weaponry. The damage was so great that it almost destroyed man, and most life forms were non-existent. A fourth of humanity was murdered, and the killings continued until March 10, 1271. As a last measure, man secretly created a massive electromagnetic pulse that rocked the entire planet, destroying the Latrontulian network in a giant wave. It also caused earthquakes that destroyed land masses worldwide and caused many natural disasters such as tornadoes and typhoons. Akela Malek's prophecy was fulfilled, and soon after, the Latrontulian network was redesignated, reprogrammed, and renamed Tyrians, but it faced much opposition. A team of scientists realized the earthquake had destroyed great land masses and unearthed pieces of an unknown metallic material that were later discovered. It was technology that was not of this world. After a few years, they discovered other pieces throughout the planet that formed an odd shape de vite. They assembled a research team comprising the top scientists worldwide and the new Tyrians network. Hoping to find a new world to live on, this trio worked on the project 24 hours a day, as the Earth started showing signs of an apocalyptic explosion and humanity was preparing itself to die. Texerians solved the equations mathematically, which caused an irritating humming sound that forced the people to plate the devike outside its entertainment. When the humming stopped, a beam of light shot up into the sky. The machine continued to shine. No stuck with turning the devike off but unable to. Months later they made first contact with the Abenians, extraterrestrial beings who introduced the planet to new technology and resources it had never seen before. They quickly saved the Earth from destruction, todo. So they had to blanket the entire northern and southernmost hemispheres with it. At first, the Abenians stationed themselves in what was said to be called the Congo forest, along the Great Zaire River. The natives could not sound or even pronounce their names in their native tongue, so the people called them Abeni. This is where they got their name from, which roughly means, we asked for her, and behold, we got her. However, shortly after arriving, a great uprising that caused civil unrest between the Abenians and the people of the Congo forest called the Great Congo Impression. The people of the Greater African Republic were defeated and scattered around the globe with no explanation or the reason for the rebellion till this day. After the uprising, the only thing that was for sure was that the Abenians were interested in destroying all who possessed specific natives, the Wakatilians. The Abenians tried to kill all who had this rare and mutated DNA, but because of political reasons, they could not. Many could tell by their behavior that it was something in this DNA that the Abenians feared. Therefore, they banned union with such DNA. They could not live among the rest of the planet, making their lives a living hell through enslavement and other horrendous acts. If the rest of the world wanted their technology, they too would have to follow suit, or the Abenians themselves would return home. The people who carried such DNA were the ancestors of the Wakatilians to die. They were forced into a nomadic lifestyle, living by clans and associated each clan with a tribe, where they lived and fed off the land, the best they could, throughout the planet. Most of these clans were friendly, but there were a few brutally violent clans. Centuries later, Kompyutans and Anakataas would traffic and even enslave Wakatilians for sex, services, labor, and even used as pets. The Wakatilians lived a life of secrecy, and their life history was handed down from generation to generation according to their clan. The Wakatilians had very little to do with any other culture other than themselves. They were a very spiritual people, and many of the clans believed in Sabaoth, but a few had abandoned their beliefs and lived a life of brutality and shamed those who did believe. They believed that Sabaoth, who treated everything in the universe, put men on earth to see if he and his seed could be righteous people in his eye. Free will was their choice, so he wanted to see if any of his creations could be righteous or were they just evil because of free will. If he could find just one of his creations, who was righteous in his eye, he would give them the power over the rest of his creations in paradise. The Wakatilians believed in knowledge, so they read books and always had libraries within reach of their community. Just like today, they were natural lovers, rode horseback, and many shunned away from technology, saying it was evil. Scattered throughout the land, but by the end of the 23rd century, most were in America, what was said to be called the South, and along the equator, for they disliked extreme cold weather. By 1282, 10 years later after the uprising, Abenian technology had transformed and restructured the entire planet. Many of the major TTS transformed into floating TTS or were surrounded by what appeared to be crystallized bubbles that reached as high as the ionosphère. They combined some using the two architectural designs. These TTS were renamed after their former TT names and called metros. Still, only a few major TTS worldwide had a combination architectural structure of land, underwater, and floating TTS. New York, New Orleans, and Los Angeles were the only three in the Americas, but as time passed, the Americas only had one New York. There were no more airports. You traveled in a boat looking the week, dialed a number, a two-digit number along with latitude and longitude, and you were there. Pollution ceased, and cars were no longer needed, for they used ski-craft for travel and recreation. If you wanted anything, it simply appeared on an icon-friendly machine. There was no government, just nine rules they called the 10 Commandments -1, for the commandment, "Thou shalt not covet," was deleted from the rule. It was a paradise for a group of people called Kompyutans and the Abenians alongside them. They could transport individuals within seconds anywhere around the globe or even to the different planets they discovered. There were routes underwater that were amazing to travel through, similar to driving through a vast aquarium. The Kompyutans were a group of individuals who lived and thrived on the technology introduced to them by the Abenians, living a life of luxury beyond comparison to the Wakatilians or the Anakataas. Mansions, high-rises, and enjoying some of the fastest luxury vehicles on Earth, some of which could travel over 550 miles per hour. Someone seldom saw Kompyutans outside of these bubble TTS or metros. Most who traveled outside were usually up to no good. Their daily diet was prepared within seconds by speaking their menu into a unique device. Healthcare doesn't exist because of one-like instruments that heal instantaneously called one, which many carry on their person. Education, as we once knew it, was a thing of the past. They have access to downloadable education, which takes less than 5 minutes, and you will have an app, and whatever studies you prefer. Kompyutans were mainly overrigged to obey because they wanted nothing, and the machines did all the work needed. A self-absorbed, self-righteous person who cared less about the Wakatilians or the Anakataas but worshipped the Abenians. The Abenians separated the Kompyutans by ranks using the value enigma in their DNA. The Abenians could understand, read, and manipulate these non-coding molecules that had puzzled humans for centuries. They grouped the Kompyutans into 3 tiers by these codes. Tier 1 was the elites, Tier 2 was the middle class, and of course Tier 3 was poor. The poorest Kompyutans had more power and authority than any Wakatilians or Anakataas. The Anakataas was the large group of individuals labeled as Tier 3. They rejected this way of life when the Abenians first came and refused to be called Kompyutans when it was introduced to them. Many were prominent and upstanding citizens, monetary-wise, and now they were being labeled as poor. This was an insult. They felt they were labeled dumb or ignorant. It was for this exact reason many of the Anakataas hated and separated themselves from the Abenians. Anakataas also lived off the land, and they embraced the use of the new technology introduced by the Abenians. The significant difference between the Anakataas and the Wakatilians was that the Anakataas worshipped nothing or anybody and were sex-driven, ruthless, and self-destructive individuals who lived according to the Arbaininanane laws of power. Anakataas were reduced to being primarily pimps, prostitutes, drug dealers, drug addicts, and the leakers. They did whatever to get a quick buck or Bitcoin. A filthy rate of people with no sense of morals, honor, or self-respect didn't believe in bathing or any other practices conducive to maintaining health and cleanliness. However, they always lived near a large population of Kompyutans. Their bond with the Kompyutans was like parasites, living life as scavengers. Bartering was the primary source of living among the Anakataas, but they used bitcoins and other types of cryptocurrencies when they had nothing to trade. The cryptocurrency was a digital currency traded in the early 21st century. It was a primary computer-file-based wallet placed on devices such as a watch, tablets, and even a microchip embedded into their skin. In 1297, many more Abenians had arrived with a mothership and a fleet of spaceships unannounced. All Abenians appeared human, but something about them confused humanity. They all seemed young and exquisite. Adam Lavasse was their chief speaker and seemed to be their leader. A gentle and shaman who always loved to smile, and it was a lovely smile. Adam Lavasse was not seen much after the first year of his arrival, and many questioned why, and the answer was often ignored or evaded. The people soon forgot about him and were engulfed by the pleasures this alien race offered them. They were content, and as long as there were no problems, they asked no more questions. What is there to worry about when your stomach is always filled, and the things you desire are handed to you? What is there to fear when health care is a thing of the past? What is there to be anxious about when there are no bills to pay? Do you need a God when you are content in a place where you do as you please? Life is as beautiful as you want it to be. What kind of savior should you have? When you are not stressed, always happy. What religion do they need to make things better for an already perfect life? Kompyutans had only rule: be fruitful and multiply. Women were forced to have a minimum of 8 kids by the age of 35, and men could have whomever and whatever they wanted, so we get married. When you can have whomever you want, whenever you want. No need for a paradise when you're already there. 70% of the Earth's inhabitants lived among the alien race as Kompyutans, 17% were Anakataas, and 13% were people, no one gave a damn about the Wakatilians. 893 years after the Abenians, the construction of all metros was complete, and life was normal again with 10 minus one, or was it?